Hi, welcome to Finding Joy Live. It is always so good to meet with you here today, and I am really glad to get to talk to you about how to create the work life of your dreams. So, I know that that may sound like it is completely off the map of where you are right now. But I've worked with dozens of high achievers over my career as a sales coach, a CEO. I worked on Broadway, and now as a happiness coach, a joy coach, really, just helping you get what you want. But before we work together, they're always tired of getting the same results in their life. They keep trying, and every time they think they are changing, but then somehow they end up back in that exact same similar circumstances. It's like a cycle. No amount of effort has gotten them to that dream life and gotten there fast. Well, until we work together, there's one of the most important areas that, until, okay, I'm turning off my phone. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Sorry about that. Little interruption. Stole my attention. Uh, uh, and also I'm having some sort of broadcast problems. So I think we are live on YouTube. And so I'm just going to keep going because I really like to meet with you guys, and we can always put it on Facebook. Hopefully, my Facebook friends will find me here on YouTube, and we won't let tech of any kind get in the way of the most important thing, right? Because the most important thing is that you actually get to have the life that you want. So, the biggest thing that we can work on when you want to get the life that you're really working towards is expectation, right? Your expectations. So if you think about it, how many times have you caught yourself saying things like, that's just the way things are, or this always happens to me, or I guess they were right. It really is just more difficult than I think it's going to be. I guess I can't get there the way I want to get there. But these are the beliefs that are holding you back from experiencing new and exciting things in your life, the things that you truly want. To get different results this time, you're going to have to challenge yourself. You're going to have to start thinking outside the box. So I'm going to just give you a little example of what happens when you do think outside the box, because it's so powerful. It's so powerful. The things that we're going to talk about after this, they can be right here, right now, life-changing for you. You don't need to take it any further if you don't want to, and you can just do what we're talking about and get somewhere. So there was a long time ago, I worked in a company. I was the CEO of the company, and I was in a really bad situation where there was a lot of tension around, and there were people who were very powerful. And so I tried all the regular things, right? All the things we all know how to do. But it wasn't long after I had gotten my spiritual health coach license. And so I thought, I have no more answers. I'm just going to start figuring out how to take this work over here in my life and really put it to use in this other area of my life, which hadn't been the case before then, right? I had been using it in family situations and health situations and things like that, but not in these so important pieces of my life that literally controlled the income, right? So this is a pretty high stakes situation. And I did this, and it wasn't 2 weeks. It wasn't 2 weeks before all the people around me who were watching this happen and kind of standing back and going, we don't know what the problem is, but you are in real trouble, said to me, I don't know what you did, but you must teach it to us, because I watched you do nothing and change everything. And that's really, really powerful. So when you encounter a setback, or a challenge, instead of falling into your old familiar patterns, try approaching it from a completely new perspective, okay? So, first, relax. Center yourself, right? And then ask yourself a series of questions. Now, at this point, people usually start with something like, how can this serve me? Or what can I learn from the experience, right? But what if instead you just started to think, can I lean on what this is? Can I lean into it and see how magical it can be for me? If you stop at that moment and really tune in, you may find a sensation of energy happening in your body, an energy kind of swirling in your body. And truth be told, it doesn't matter if it feels like excitement or anxiety or full on fear, right? Tune into that energy and ask yourself this question. How is this event, right? Whatever this thing is that's happened, part of the swirl of energy that moves me forward toward the life I'm reaching for. So this is not a question about the event itself. This is not how can I learn from this event, right? Which is sort of a behavior modification question. And it's also not how does this benefit me, right? Because sometimes things don't benefit you. And that's an important part of the swirl of energy that brings you to the place you want to go. But sometimes we get so caught up in this idea that like everything is working out for me and all things are happening for my good, that we take these events, these problems in our lives, and we try to make them into not problems. They are problems. It's okay that they're problems. They are points of resistance, right? And when we start to deal with them as if they are, because they are, swirls of energy, then they become really different than negative or positive events, negative or positive conversations, right? So now they are simply energy, and they are propulsive energy of some sort, right? They may be rocket fuel or they may be an explosion that's going to push you forward, right? So, how is this event, thing, problem part of the swirl of energy that moves me forward toward the life I am reaching for? It's a powerful, powerful question. And it's an important question. So take it in all the way and really think about where that is in your body and how you relate to it or don't relate to it, right? Sometimes we have feelings in our bodies and we're just like, oh, if I could do anything to get rid of this thing, man, I would do it. But what if you didn't? What if you really leaned into it and said, okay, this is a lot of energy. How is it moving me toward the direction I want to go energetically? By asking these different questions like these, you're going to start to see positive changes in all aspects of your life. Okay, relationships, work, unexpected events will no longer be this giant thing that holds you back or knocks you off course. Instead, they become opportunities for you to make giant leaps forward in the portal of change. I love to call it that because I think it's such a great image of how we change. We change in these ways that feel like we're just sort of going through a portal and we don't have as much control as we'd like. We're stepping into the unknown, right? And there's not a lot of control in unknown, but there is a lot of amazement. And when there is amazement, then you participate in such a meaningful way that it's not exactly control, it's really more co-creation. So these are opportunities for growth, right? Which, if you follow it all the way through, becomes more easy success. It becomes more fluid success in the world. And it becomes more joyous than you ever thought it could. This process, by the way, also works when you're in conversation. So miniaturized, right? If you bring it down into a moment, it works when you're in a conversation that something's happening and you don't quite know what's happening, right? But you know that something's not right. Same process. When you can't seem to connect with people, opportunities, right? You're sitting there thinking, how can I get X, Y, or Z to happen in my life, in my work life, right? Every time I try, I run up against these difficulties, right? When you're in that cycle, same process, use that same process for how to really start to connect with the opportunities to open up those valves. When you're designing your next program or your next job or your financial projections, right? You can use the same process. You can choose to break free and to start living the life you've always dreamed of. And I want to tell you a little bit about how that's possible. So I want to just check in over here really quick. There we go. We got you. Okay. At least we're still live. So I want to talk to you about exactly how you do that. So I have been hired or promoted to top positions in various industries in my life. I've envisioned and built multiple businesses and they've had amazing longevity and profitability. And part of that is because I am a certified wealth practitioner, right? So I went and educated myself on how to do this. But also, work has just always been one of the most fulfilling and exciting areas of my life. I love my work, and I've loved every type of work and industry that I've worked in. So, if previous mindset work hasn't helped you to make those big changes that you want to see in your life, you may find yourself sort of secretly revising your goals so they're more attainable, even though you know it's limiting and you don't want to become small. If you want increased productivity, if you want speed in your decision making, to work, to ethically lead, to be stepping into your true power, to create the joyful life that you know will help you to feel really satisfied and deeply happy. If you believe so much more is possible for you, I've been helping people take these esoteric concepts that we make that sort of make sense when we think about them, but don't know how to put them into practice, right into practice. So what is that? That's spirituality. It's law of attraction. It's energy work. It's power of the mind. It's all of the things that talk about how the world works and how we can participate with it that makes sense to you. And then how do we make them make sense in your life, not just in your mind? So we apply them in a way that actually works. I help people basically to have the best day ever, over and over and over again, moving them away from ineffective envisioning and the things they want, right? The same things that you want. More time, more money, more freedom, the same things that we all want, to actually living the life of your dreams, freedom, and the serendipity that comes when you have true alignment and it creates speed in your life. So I've opened up an opportunity to work together in the most powerful way possible. It's called the Joyful Freedom Accelerator. It's a small group space where you get the community and emotional entrainment that opens up the mind and the body into new ways of thinking, right? Let me pop over here into the comments and make sure that you have a way to take a look at it and see what you think, right? Just take a look and think about all of the things that we've talked about today, because not only is it a group experience where you do get that support, you get the environment, right? So important. When we're in an environment that expects us to behave a certain way, there's no way we can behave much differently. We can try and try and try, but change is uncomfortable for the people around us. Change is not pleasant for the people around us. So we need to surround ourselves with people who can hold that same vision of your future you with you without getting all muddied up in who you've been and how many times you've tried before, right? So, in addition to having that component, I have included private coaching. So you get access to me, right? So this is what happens in group programs all the times. You go into a group program, you're like, yes, I want what they are trying to get me to figure out how to be, and I want that. And I am going to find my way through, even though I don't actually have personal relationship to it. So what happens? You get a week or 2 or 5 into some 12-week program, and then you get lost. And you're like, I don't know, I can't go forward. Or my favorite ones are when you've already done the work of the first several weeks, so you're just killing it. You're the best student in the room. And then you get to the part that you don't know how to do, and you have no real support. You have no support for that portal of change, right? Just where is the next little handhold for me to get forward in my life? So that's what that private coaching element really is meant to be for, so that you just don't get lost. You don't get in the swirl of energy and then go like, oh, well, I ended up in the same place I've always been. Using I'm with me, you were using the most advanced healing, harmonizing growth technologies, right, to help you to experience that life from a totally new perspective. So to join us, which could be life-changing for you, go ahead and click on the link and check it out and apply, because you can stay where you are and keep trying to swim out of this pool, but a lot of times we just keep going in circles. So I look forward to seeing you in the accelerator. I'll talk to you soon.